All right, I think I'm live. Hello, everyone. Vesna here. As you join me live, please say hi in the comments. Today I'm here for our day 2 of shifting your paradigm. Today I'm going to be talking about the identity shift, how to become who you need to be to achieve your goals. Okay? So remember, as you're joining me in, say hello in the comments. Let me know who's watching. And let's get this party started. Okay? So today I'm going to share with you about the most powerful thing that you should ever know about yourself. And that is your self-image. I am so passionate about this lesson because this lesson is everything. Learning this, it's a complete transformation, it's complete change in your life. Okay? Self-image, it's the subconscious mental picture in your mind that you hold about yourself. A discovery was made over 60 years ago by a man who wasn't a psychologist, who wasn't a therapist, and who wasn't even studying the mind. He was a plastic surgeon. His name was Dr. Maxwell Maltz. The book is Psycho-Cybernetics. This became the Bible of personal development. Every high performer is using this book. What he discovered here has changed everything that we know about human potential, success, and transformation today. What he noticed something really strange that was happening with his patients. Some of his patients would come back after surgery completely transformed, not just physically, but psychologically. They walked differently, they talked differently, they showed up in the world completely different. They showed up with confidence and power. But others, nothing changed. They looked in the mirror and they saw the same ugly, unworthy person they saw before. The surgery was always successful, but the transformation wasn't. Why? Because what Dr. Maltz realized was something profound. He said, it's not what happens to you physically, but what happens inside of you. It's not what happens outside of you, but what happens to that mental picture of yourself inside of you that determines how you feel and act. Your self-image or your identity is the mental picture you hold of yourself. That is more powerful than any external change you could ever make. You could get the perfect body, the perfect face, the perfect bank account, but if your self-image hasn't changed, nothing will change. Nothing. There's a popular quote from Zig Ziglar that says, you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your self-image. And until you change the image of yourself internally, you cannot change the results in your life. Your self-image is the conception that you have of yourself. It is the mental blueprint of who you believe you are. And that mental blueprint, it's built from your past experiences, starting from infancy, since you're a baby, and all the way until adulthood. From your successes, from your failures, your beliefs about yourself, all of your experiences. And it acts like an invisible guide directing your subconscious mind, and it's influencing every action that you take. It's influencing everything you do in your life. Human beings, they always act and feel and perform in accordance with what they imagine to be true about themselves and their environment. Did you notice the word imagine? Your self image isn't truth, it's imagination. But your brain treats that imagination as truth, because neuroscience says today that the brain doesn't know what's real and what's imagined. As long as you hold a mental image in your head, it thinks it's real. Here's what most people don't understand: how the self-image controls their identity. Your self-image controls your thoughts, what you believe is possible for you. It controls your actions, what you're willing to try or to avoid. That's why people get stuck in freeze mode and avoid to take action. They know what to do, they know how, and they still don't do anything about it. And that's the knowing and doing gap. It controls your feelings, how you interpret your successes and failures, controls your perception, how you interpret what you feel and what happens to you. Also controls your abilities, what you're capable of accessing, your confidence, controls all of your results in your life, controls what you can ultimately achieve, how much money you can make, and how big of an impact you can make. So, if you see yourself as a failure, you will unconsciously find a ways to fail, no matter how hard you try. But if you see yourself as unworthy of wealth, you will sabotage every opportunity that comes to your way. That self-image that you hold of yourself, it's the thermostat that we spoke yesterday. The thermostat is set at a certain degree, and you cannot rise above the temperature is being originally set at. Let that sink in for a bit. Some people are just realizing this for the very first time, why they've been stuck in life. In the book of Psycho-Cybernetics, there's a story about a woman who was convinced that her nose was very ugly. She believed this so deeply that she avoided social situations, she wouldn't date, she barely left her house. So when she went to Dr. Maltz and when he examined her, he found out that her nose was perfectly normal. There was nothing wrong with it, but she insisted. So he performed a nose job and gave her what he thought was a beautiful result. But when she came back for her follow-up appointment, when he removed the bandages, and when she looked at herself in the mirror, she burst in tears. Not tears of joy, tears of despair. She still believed I was ugly. And she told him, nothing has changed. It's heartbreaking to see someone's internal suffering and you can't help them. In that moment, he realized that he had to change her face, that he had changed her face, but he had not changed her self-image. He had to change her self-image first before he did the surgery. And because her self-image was I'm ugly, no amount of surgery could make her feel beautiful. The tragedy is that she had all the physical evidence of beauty in the mirror, But her internal image, her self image, overruled physical reality. And that's what we live by. Not reality itself, but our self image reality. All of our results in life are like a mirror reflection of our self identity. Our subconscious mind is a goal seeking mechanism. It works just like a torpedo. A torpedo is programmed with a specific target, and once it's launched, it will make thousands of tiny little corrections every second just to hit the target. It adjusts to winds, it adjusts to obstacles, it adjusts to movements, and it doesn't think, it doesn't hope, it doesn't worry. It simply locks onto the target and moves towards it. Our subconscious mind works the same way. We all have a built-in guidance system within us that operates automatically to achieve our goals. Okay? When you give it a clear target to your inner guidance system, your subconscious mind, a vivid mental image, because the subconscious mind thinks in pictures, it will automatically move you towards that target. It will find solutions, it will make the corrections necessary to hit the goal. But here's the catch. It doesn't care if the goal is positive or is it negative. It will move you towards or whatever image you hold in your mind. So if your self-image is I am successful, your subconscious mind will find thousands of ways to make you successful. But if your self-image is I'm a failure, your subconscious mind will find thousands of ways to sabotage your success and to make you fail. It doesn't judge, it just executes. It's an automatic program. I always say, this is why it's so important for us to understand who we are in our essence, in our biology, and how we operate this 3D physical life. That it's not what our results are determine who we are, but it's our inner world that determines the results in our life. So first, we must evaluate ourselves based on our results to see where and how we're being programmed. Because every single person runs on a program. Everyone. Here's the study that they did to prove this. They used three groups of basketball players, and they tested their free throw for accuracy. Group A practiced free throws physically for 30 days. Group B did not practice at all, and Group C only imagined shooting the free throws. They sat in a quiet room, closed their eyes, and they vividly visualized the ball leaving their hands, then the arc through the air, and how it swished right through the net. After 30 days, they tested all three groups again. Group B, who did nothing, got worse. Group A, who practiced physically, improved by 24%. But Group C, the one who only visualized, they improved by 23%. They nearly matched Group A without ever touching a ball. Think about that for a second. Why is this so important? The brain or our nervous system cannot tell the difference between a real experience and the one that is vividly imagined with an emotion. Your subconscious mind does not know the difference between imagination and reality. When you vividly imagine something with emotion, your nervous system responds as if it's real. This is why visualization and vision boards work. And this is why identity shifting works. This is why having a goal is of utmost importance. You're giving coordinates to your subconscious mind, to that inner guiding system, where to take you. Because without a goal, you stay stuck in your current programming. So let's talk about now how we can actually change our self-image. Okay? Who's ready for this? Type in the comments. Who's ready for this? Who's excited? Most people are doing it backwards when they start this work. There are two levels of change. Level one is outcome-based change. Okay? This is where most people start. They set a big goal based on what they want to achieve. Okay? For example, I want to lose 20 pounds. Okay? I want to make $100,000. I want to quit smoking. And then they try to force new behaviors to get there. Remember this from yesterday? People try to change their results instead of changing the paradigm first. Self-image is the paradigm. Okay? They're trying to take action to go to the gym to lose the weight, right? But we have to remember, if we want to change, we must first start changing the paradigm, changing the self-image, changing the identity. If that's not changed, nothing's going to change our lives. So every action they take, it feels like a battle against who they are. This is why so many new resolutions fail, because people want to change, but they don't know how a real change works. Okay? Now, level two, it's identity-based change. Okay? This is where the real transformation happens. You don't focus on what you want to achieve. You focus on who you want to become. Remember, the process about achieving a goal is about the journey of becoming that person, not the destination. Level two change, the becoming the person of who you want to be with the goal achieved, sounds like, instead of saying, I want to lose 20 pounds, you say, I am a healthy person. Instead of saying, I want to earn $100,000, you say, I am wealthy. Instead of saying, I want to quit smoking, you say, I am a non-smoker. It's something very, very different to say, I am the type of person who wants this, and say, I am the type of person who is this already. Make sense? Going from I want this to I am this. That changes everything. True behavior change is identity change. You must start a habit to get yourself motivated to change. But the only reason you stick with any habit to stay motivated is only because when you accept that habit, when it becomes part of who you are. Okay? The goal is not to go and read a book. The goal is to become the reader. The goal is not to run a marathon, but to become the runner. When somebody offers you a cigarette and you say, I quit smoking, you are still identified as a smoker who is resisting. But when you say, I don't smoke, you're identifying yourself as a non smoker. That's a different person. And that person doesn't have to resist because that's just not who they are, right? Now, let me give you the exact process to shift your identity, okay? This is what all the high performers do. This is what champions do. And this is what you're going to start doing today. I told you on day one, you are not gonna try to change, but you're going to decide to become the person of your dreams. So, are you ready? Put it in the comments as you're watching this. I am ready. Because everything, every transformation starts with this right now. Okay? Step one, you first must decide who you need to become. Okay? Decide who you need to become. Don't ask, what do I want to achieve? Ask yourself, who is the type of person who already has the result that you're after? If you want financial freedom, who is the type of person who has it? They're disciplined, they invest in themselves, they say no to distractions. If you want a fit body, who is the person who has it? They're someone who moves daily, they eat clean, they prioritize health. If you want a thriving business, who's the type of person who has it? They're decisive, they take risks, they lead with confidence. Put it in the chat. Let me know. Who do you want to become? Write it down by starting with, I am the person who, and then fill in the blanks. Who do you need to become to achieve your goal? Put it in the chat. Then the step number 2 will be act as if you already are that person. So first, we are changing the paradigm. You're deciding on the person who you want to be, and that's what we're going to impress in the subconscious mind. And then you're going to take the action. You're going to act. You're changing your behavior to act as the person that already has achieved that goal. This is the secret that most people miss. You don't wait to feel like that person. You don't wait until you become it to feel that person. You start acting right now as the person of your dreams starting today, right now. Once you start acting as that new person with emotion, your nervous system will start to believe it. And until the nervous system starts to believe, nothing's going to change. Okay? Once your subconscious accept the idea of your new self within emotion, that's when real change starts to happen. Fake it until you become it. Okay? So I want you to ask yourself, how would that version of you act? How would that version of you walk? How would that version of you talk? how would she make decisions? How does she spend her time? And start doing those things today. Not tomorrow, not when you're ready, today. You give yourself a command right now. Okay? Right now. You don't wait for doubt to kick in. Right now. You have to declare it. Then step 3 will be collecting evidence. Your subconscious mind needs proof. Okay? Every time you take an action that aligns with your new identity, you're casting a vote for that version of yourself. You went to the gym today, even though you didn't feel like it. That's a vote for saying, I am disciplined. You say no to a distraction. You say no more thumb scrolling. And you focus yourself on doing your work. That is a vote for I'm focused. You spoke up even then when your voice shook down. That's a vote for I'm confident. At the end of each day, before you go to bed, write down 3 pieces of evidence that prove to your subconscious mind that you are becoming that new person, that new identity of your dreams. Your brain needs to see this. Small wins, they compound over time. Okay? Because once you write it, your brain starts to believe it. And that's when it's accepting that new idea of your new self. Okay? It eases down the resistance. Okay? Step 4, you must visualize daily. Remember the basketball study? Visualization works because your brain treats it as a real experience. Every single day, you must close your eyes for 5 to 10 minutes and vividly imagine yourself as that person. See yourself through their eyes. Feel their confidence. Experience their success. Engage all your 5 senses while you are visualizing that new self. This is the mental rehearsal. The imagination is the first key to impress your subconscious mind. It's one of our mental faculties and the most important one. It is our creative power to do and be whatever we want to be. Because when we imagine with clarity of that mental picture we hold, our subconscious mind doesn't know what's real or imagined. It just accepts it. Remember, it's the executor. It executes. Okay, it doesn't reject anything. As soon as you get emotionally involved with a picture that you hold in your mind, it takes it as real. And that's the most beautiful part for us to change. Step 5, you have to repeat this process until it becomes automatic. How long does it take for you to change your self-image? As long as it takes. Keep practicing until you become it, until it becomes automatic, until it's just who you are. How would you know when you changed? Because when you wake up one day, you're going to wake up as that person, excited of your future self, not the old self. Okay? So, here's what's going to happen the moment you start this process. And I need you to be ready for it. Your old identity is going to fight you back. Your mind has a system of ideas about who you are, a belief and a self-image of who you are. And anything Anything that contradicts to that system, it will be rejected at first. Okay? Your subconscious mind, it's like a psychological immune system. It attacks anything that is foreign to the mind. The moment you start acting like your new identity, you will feel uncomfortable. You're gonna doubt yourself and you're gonna want to quit. And this is not a sign that it's not working, but this is a sign that it is working. You just have to trust the process. You're going to have to stay persistent and you have to have faith in it because this is the law. Your old identity is dying and it's fighting for its survival. It's going to need that oxygen of your new self, of your old self to survive. And most people interpret this as discomfort. Okay? They interpret this as this isn't for me. I'm not that type of person yet. But the truth is, no, you're not that type of a person yet. And that's exactly why it feels uncomfortable. All growth is uncomfortable. If it feels comfortable, you're not growing. You're staying the same. Remember the quote I just said? You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your identity. So if you want to change your life, if you're serious about it, you must change your identity first, starting today. Not tomorrow, not next week, starting today. You're going to start acting as the person you need to become. You're going to visualize that person and you're going to collect the evidence. And when that new identity, the old identity starts to kick in and fight you back, you're going to look at it as a ridiculous person. Because now you know, and you're going to expect that person to fight you back. But you're going to be immune to that old version of you. Okay? And you're going to repeat this process. You're going to repeat this process on a daily basis until it's just who you are. Okay? So write me in the comments. I hope you love this lesson. Let me know in the comments what was your biggest takeaway. What was the highlight of this workshop for you? I thank you so much for being here with me today. Tomorrow is our last workshop of this series. I will see you at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and make sure you do your homework today. Okay? And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments, private message me. I'm always here for you. I love you all. You take care. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.